Hey, good afternoon, you guys. Happy Friday. Welcome to episode number 80 of the First and 10 NFL New York Jets podcast. How you doing this morning, brother, or this afternoon? You ready for our special guest coming on today?
I am pumped. It's week 8. It's Jet Patriot week. And like you said, we're having a special guest, hopefully dropping by in the next 5 or 10 minutes to chat with us. And we're glad to have him back on the show. Coach Mike Westhoff will be joining us shortly.
Yes.
Pumped.
The GOAT of
Yeah.
special teams.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun to pick his brain. I have a few questions about the book. Hopefully, he'll elaborate on some of the stories, share with our viewers. And we've got to hear his take about this 5-2 Jet team and what his overall view is on us.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to know his take on the game this weekend.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at some of the games he was involved in.
Okay.
Jets, Pats, mainly 2002, and the best one in 2011. So,
I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say. I would love to know what he thinks of the coaching staff. But Kevin, before Coach comes on, real quick, what did you think of Saleh announcing 2 days ago that Corey's already out, like giving Belichick, something to think about, like already announcing?
I might have played it coy, and we'll see. It's a game time decision.
Yeah, I agree. And what do you think about him saying that the running back Robinson to be determined? Like, I don't understand. I understand everyone says gamemanship. I don't get that. I would say everyone's playing. We got 52 men on the roster. We're getting them all and leave it alone. Or don't say anything. Silence is golden, correct?
Yeah. Or so-and-so's dealing with this, so-and-so's dealing with that. They're all game time decisions.
I think to announce on a Wednesday, I believe it was, that Corey is out, just gives Belichick more time.
More time to game plan, man. Yeah.
Now he can double team Elijah Moore and let Jared Wilson beat us. He's probably not sweating Mims or Berrios.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Mims. We're looking at Berrios.
Yeah.
Right. We're looking at Elijah. We're looking at Wilson and the 2 tight ends.
Jeff Smith. You have to use those tight ends a lot. Like, I almost feel like you're giving Belichick some ammunition,
Yeah, exactly.
Even the right word. Like, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have said everyone's a game time decision, day to day.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Because this game scares me more than a lot of people. Like, I understand people think because the Bears did what they did, that this is going to be a cakewalk. And I think sometimes that maybe the Bears did what they did because it was a trap game. Belichick was already thinking about us because he hates us so much. This is his year beating us.
Absolutely.
And Kevin, let me throw it out there for you, and maybe we'll ask Coach too his thoughts. If we lose to this team this Sunday, is there a chance we never beat this team? I know I'm exaggerating, but if we can't beat them while their ship is sinking and ours is rising, if we can't beat this team now, are we ever going to beat them?
I don't know. Good question.
They're a desperate team because they were embarrassed on Monday night. And let's face it, they were embarrassed. They're going to come out like fighting tigers, who've been kicked and punched and slapped and not fed. But if we can't beat them while they're down, are we ever going to beat this goddamn team?
Good question.
This game worries me more than Denver last week.
I agree. See, I thought the trap game, that was going to be a trap game for us. That's what I thought.
The Denver one, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think I remember texting you saying, we're lucky if we get out of here with the win.
No, I know.
I think I said, if we get out of here with the W, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Kevin, I would love to be texting you on third end of the third quarter with our feet up, cigar in mouth, drinking hands, saying, all right, we got this one. But
Mhm,
when you
mhm.
already told the Patriots Corey Davis, our A receiver, is not playing, you already said you're going to try to use Elijah Moore in the slot more. You already said that Robinson to be determined. What else? Well, just give him the game plan. I don't know. Maybe
Mhm.
it's me. I would love to ask when Coach gets on his thoughts on that as we get into the interview with him. Like, I feel like you gave a little too much. You
I
know?
agree. I agree.
And
I'm
please,
trying
any
to.
of our listeners, let us know your thoughts and please continue to like and subscribe, spread the word.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
believe Coach is about to pop on with us. Let's
There he
give him
is.
a second. Yeah, there he is. Let's give him a second.
Hey guys, you got me now?
Yes,
Hey,
how are
Coach,
you,
we got
Coach?
you.
All right, there we are. Yeah, we've been a little banged up down here.
Ah,
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, it's been hard. You know, we get that hurricane was terrible.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
I lost both of my cars.
Oh
wow.
I
man.
got some damage to my house. Not terrible. I've got it pretty well straightened out. But
Okay.
it's just a tough one. It's just a tough one. Tough as it gets. Worst I've ever seen. I've never seen anything
Wow.
like it. Yeah,
Wow.
Where
places pretty much.
exactly are you, Coach?
I live in Fort Myers, not far, right down
Okay.
from Sanibel Island. I'm not
Okay.
that far, and they got destroyed. So, man,
Mm,
I live 8.5 miles from the water.
okay.
Okay, and
Wow.
I got a 4 foot surge down my street.
Wow.
Wow.
Gives you an idea. It's pretty tough.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
we
That's
we we
incredible.
sucked it up for a while here. So that's what's happening.
And
So, guys,
Sanibel Island totally gone?
pretty much, yes,
Yeah.
pretty
I
much.
vacationed there back when I was in my 20s with my wife, and beautiful place. So such a
That's
great
my
place.
hangout. It's my hangout.
Okay.
The causeway going over got wiped out.
Wow.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, it was as
Incredible.
tough as it gets.
That's a
Hey,
shame. Wow.
Incredible.
Wow.
hi.
And on a
Well,
different note, Coach, other than that, everything good with you? You enjoying the Jet season so far?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. Hey, how soon are we going to go in a minute, right?
We're
yeah.
on
Hey,
now.
we're
Ready for
live.
time?
Okay, just 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
Hang in. Go ahead. Do it. Okay, I'm ready to go, guys. But
Yeah.
anything you want.
I
Let's
think it's
go.
awesome. I think it's awesome, Coach, that every time you come on, it shows we're doing this right now. Last time, I believe the girlfriend called. You got a phone call.
Yeah, you got a phone
We're
call.
on. Keeping it real. I love
This
it.
is for
I
real.
love it.
We don't fool around.
No.
No, no.
So
So
go ahead, Kev.
go. How is the book doing?
Pretty good. I took a step back. Obviously, we had 3 book signings up in New York, and I've had several
Mhm.
that I had to cancel. Of course, the airport wasn't open, and I couldn't have
Sure.
got there. I was riding my bicycle. That's all I had for a while, and it was as tough as it gets. But it's done well. The thing that I feel pretty good about with my book is that there's no time frame that I have with it. I don't have an expiration date on my book.
No,
So who cares? If I take a
exactly.
step back, it doesn't matter to me. Being a small publisher like we are, it's hard to get the number of books out that you'd like to get out.
Okay.
I mean, I go into Barnes and Noble and I talk to people in there, and they say, "Coach, I know you and I know your book." And this girl was telling me, she said, we get a couple in, they sell out right away. She said, but we only get 3 or 4. And so it's hard. What I'd like to have happen is get one of, because I think I'm about 80 some percent 5-star reviews.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'd like to get one of the big guys to buy me out.
Mm.
A big publisher,
Okay.
Yep.
Time Warner, Schuster, big names. Because
Sure.
when you're small, I mean, we work hard. I think the guys that I did, they do a very nice job of putting together a good product. I mean, if you read the book, I think you enjoyed it. It's a good
Yes.
book.
Yep. Great. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you. They let me do it the way I wanted to do it. And I told the guys we interviewed, I said, look, do it in your language. I want this book to be what we did. And I don't care how you say it. And that's really what it is. It's a good story.
Yes,
Absolutely.
You can't go wrong with a good story. So the fact that, I took a step back and I got smacked a little bit. Yeah, I see. It's pretty cool. Thank you. I'm proud of it. But I feel very good with what we've done. Now I've got, as I said, there's no expiration date, so I don't care. I'm going to keep going. I'll go to the college convention. I mean, to me, I had a college coach wrote me the other day, and he read the book, and he said, if you want to coach, you have to buy this book. I think he's right. It's not what I'm telling you how to do it. It's Don Shula. It's Bear Bryant. It's Woody Hayes. It's Bob Knight. You know, it's the greatest people that ever did it. Sean Payton. You know, it's the guy. They're all contributing. So it's a good story about, I think, how to take average guys and break the records. And that's what we did. And I'm proud of that.
Now, Coach, you asked us to write a review, and I did. I put a couple of reviews up, one on Amazon, one on Barnes & Noble. Thank you for asking. I did that for you. It was great. What I did in my review was that I wanted people to know is that you didn't have to be a football fan to read the book.
I saw it. I saw it, and I thank you very much.
Yeah, it was just a good like I even made my son read it because he tried out for freshman football this year. Here was a kid who never played tackle football in his life. Coach, look through the book. We love the thing you said about Zach Thomas. You could measure his stats, but you couldn't measure his heart. And that saying is something I've been telling my son since he's 5 years old, from T-ball to baseball to now even making his freshman football team with no football experience, never played tackle in his life. I told him, you go out there and you practice every day 110%. They don't know the fight in your heart. And Coach, he made the football team as someone who's never played tackle in his life. So good your words, a little bit of my words, helped this kid along. So
I'm happy. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, right after the storm hit, and I live in a development, a golf club development. I live right on a lake. I have a beautiful home. It got smacked up a little bit because the water was just so terrible.
Wow.
Anyway, we had no power for a couple of weeks. And I would ride my bike through the water up to the club in the morning because they had generators and we could charge your telephone. And I'd get a cup of coffee. That's what I did every day. So I'm up there one day and a guy came up to me and he said, excuse me, you're Mike Westhoff. And I said, yes. And he said, I said, I'm a member. He told me his name. He said, I live here. I did not know him. And he said, I want to say thank you. I said, okay. He said, for the past 4 nights, now remember, we have no power. He said, I sat up and I read your book with a flashlight. He said, I just want to say thank you for telling a story about average people that can do something special.
Yeah,
He said, and it motivated me at a pretty tough time. And he said he read it with a flashlight. I was pretty proud of that.
That's awesome.
That's excellent.
I mean, you mentioned so many great people: Morstead, James Dirth, Leon Washington, O.J. McDuffie, Zach Thomas, Larry Izzo, Bernie Parmalee. Goes on and on and on. Brad
I think
Smith,
I made it pretty clear.
Favorites.
Obviously, with the time I was with the Jets was one of the best times of my life. I mean, it was a wonderful experience. I loved the fans.
Ours too.
and we were good. We were good. I mentioned in the book, and I wanted people to know, with the way the game has changed, what they've done is that they've lessened the number of ways you can win games.
True.
They really have. Now it's really all about a quarterback. If you can run the ball, that helps. If you can play a little defense, that helps. But even with that, they don't care because they'll win 48-42. But, a good example, and I remember, I think we might have talked about this before, but, the year, when we went to the second championship game, we're playing in Indianapolis. And right at the end of the game, Payton drives down the field and scores with less than a minute to go. They're up by 2 points. All right. So I know they're going to kick off, and I know McAfee kicks off. I know he's going to try to put a touchback. I know he'll hook the ball. It's going to go to our right. Brad Smith was hurt, and I put Antonio Cromartie in.
Yeah.
I said, Crow, I'm going to run a jet right. We're going to double to 5. I'm going to wedge on the 2x2 wedge. Look like this. I said, we'll block 4 and 3, 2 and 1. I said, read the first block coaches to the double, da. The guy kicks the ball about 5 yards deep in the end zone. He runs it up to the 50.
Yeah. Yes.
We complete one pass.
Braylon Edwards.
We kick the field goal. We end up in a championship game.
Yep.
Now, if that game was being played today, that ball would be kicked out of the end zone. We would have no time to make the play, and the Jets would have not won and kept going.
Yeah.
My point is, give me a chance. Just give me a chance. That's what I want football to be about. And that's what I'm a little bit concerned, because to tell you the truth, it's a little bit less today than it once was.
Agreed.
But that was just think of what a special time that ended up being.
Yeah.
Because the next week, we go and we beat New England.
Absolutely.
Now we go into Pittsburgh, and we're knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's some of what I wrote about, and that's what I'm so very proud that I did.
Coach, that play, and is it the Music City Miracle, Tennessee, with the
back and
those
forth
plays will make the game exciting. And you feel like today, Coach, they're taking a lot of that away from us fans and from the game.
It's gone.
Yes.
It's not there. It's gone.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I want to go back and forth with you.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
The one thing I want you to tell, because I'm sure you could tell it in your way and make us, the listeners, laugh. Tell the Wayne Hunter story with Justin Miller. I was reading that, and Coach, I felt like you gave such a vivid description. I felt like I was there that day, and I'm reading it and laughing.
That was good. That's good.
First of all, let's one thing about Wayne Hunter.
Okay.
He might have been the toughest guy in the league.
You said it.
I mean, I used to always talk about that when I said, look, I'm the oldest on the staff. I used to tease about this. I said, so when the fight breaks out, I get to pick my guy first.
Okay.
I'm the first guy, and I'm taking Wayne Hunter.
I don't blame you.
Because he was tough. There was a fight during training camp one time, and he got into a fight with a guy, and the guy's friend jumped in, etc. He beat everybody up. I mean, he beat them all up. I mean, he was so tough, and he was a guy that when it started. But anyway, we had been committing some penalties on offense, and Brian Schottenheimer got all shook up, and he was going to really crank down on the offense. So anytime there was a penalty, the guy had to run a lap. Now, personally, I think that's a mistake. I mean, trust me, I don't mind running the lap, but not while your offensive period is going on. Keep him after practice. I mean, he's running laps and you're still running plays.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. That would have never happened with me.
Okay.
And I would let him know, if I'm going to do something like that, you're going to be running until I get tired. And I'm probably not going to get tired because I'm going to be standing there watching your stupid ass. Anyway, it's just, so anyway, Wayne gets a penalty and they throw a flag, and, Brian, I run a lap. So he starts running. Well, Justin was a tough guy, but he was a character now. And he talked a little bit. So he's teasing Wayne when he's running by. Wayne turned around and said to him, shut the blank up. He shut up. So told him to shut up. Okay. Anyway, it could have been 3 minutes later when he gets back. It happens again. So now, this time, he starts running around. And Justin pops off again. He's making fun running with him. He thinks it's real funny. So now Wayne goes after him. Now, fortunately, Justin's a tough guy. He stands up, but he's getting killed. But fortunately, there was enough guys there, and they break it up. We don't go 5 more minutes. It happens again. So now I'm thinking to myself, please don't do it. So Justin says something, and Wayne stops. He just stops right in the middle of the field. And he said, now I'm going to tell you something. When practice is over, I'm going to find you in the locker room, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you. And he said, and nobody here can stop me. Now I'm sitting there thinking, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
He's serious.
Nobody can stop him. So Rex was standing right by me. I said, Rex, you got to get on top of this. He said, what do you, I don't know. Call him, do something. So Rex calls him over, and he said to him, I never forget this. Only Rex and I and Justin would know the whole story. And we're standing there, and Rex said to him, you crossed the line here a little bit. And he said, because he is going to beat the hell out of you, and I don't think we can stop him. He said, now you go in right now, off the field right now, get your keys to your truck, and immediately drive home.
Get out of here.
I'm looking out there. 2 minutes later, I see Justin Miller driving out with his uniform on. He drove home.
Oh,
He drove Thanksgiving morning. He drove home. Now the next morning, Wayne Hunter came in to see me because he and I were because my girlfriend at the time was friends with some of the wives, and his wife was a little older, and she was friends with her, just knew her socially. So he came in to see me, and he said, "Coach, I apologize." I said, "Well, you don't have to apologize to me. You might have Justin if he'd been in the hospital." And he said, "I talked to my wife, and he said, I'm under control." He said, "When I get out of control, I'm hard to." He said, "I'm sorry." I said, "It's okay. Don't worry." I said, "Justin's alive and well. He's still breathing." And I said, "But we're all pretty happy that you calmed down because
Yeah.
everybody's
But you
pretty happy."
reeled it in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
And that's a
Oh
true.
man,
That's
that's
a true
great.
story.
such a
Thanksgiving
That's
great,
Day.
great.
such a
Only,
That's
great
great.
story.
only in the NFL.
Yeah,
Only in the
such a
NFL.
Only
great
in the
story.
NFL.
That
Oh,
story, Coach, is up there with the story that you tell. Now, maybe I don't have it verbatim, but you told the story about your buddy who wrestled the bear.
He was the strength coach with the Colts.
That was something out of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello,
Yes.
the way you
It's a true
told that
story.
Yes.
story.
You see,
Oh,
when I first got hired with the Colts, out of nowhere. I mean, I went up. I told you a story about how Frank Cush. I met him
mhm.
after a terrible thing that happened to me. I met Frank in a sauna in Florida during a convention, and we talked about stuff. And he told me this: said, "If I ever have a job, I'll call you." And 6 years later, he gets the head coaching job of the Baltimore Colts, and he called me, and I got the job. So I go to interview, and he said, "I need a strength coach, I need a special teams coach, I need a tight ends coach, I need someone to work with the offensive line, and I need someone to help me with all the stuff that I do." He said, "I don't know which one I should hire you for." I said, "Well, I'll do them all." He started to laugh. He said, "All right, I'll give them to you. Let's see if you can handle it." Well, next thing you know, I'm doing all these jobs. I didn't know how to do any of them.
Oh man.
So, but it worked out. But the one thing I really wanted was I wanted us to get a full-time strength coach. I mean, I enjoyed the testing part, but I didn't have time to be in the weight room every day. And it's not my, I mean, I used to work out all the time, but that wasn't for me. So anyway, when we went to Indianapolis, I started to look for a full-time strength coach. And I get a letter from Dan Gable, the great wrestling coach at Iowa, the great wrestler himself, probably the best wrestler in the world. And he talked about this young man who was a heavyweight freestyle wrestler who had been eliminated from the Olympic trials because of whatever. He thought it was really a terrible thing. It was stupid. It was nothing happened. Anyway, make a long story short, he kept them on the Olympic team as their Olympic strength coach. Now, the guy was from Indianapolis. His name was Tom Zupancic. He's a big, strong guy. Oh, my gosh, a powerful man. And he was applying for the strength job. So I brought him in and interviewed him, and I loved him. I said, "This guy's good. He'll be good." And I took him into Frank. Frank did not want to hire him, but I talked him into it. And, all right, yeah, you want to be your ass, one of those. Okay.
Yeah.
But Tom was a real character. I mean, he was so powerful, man. He could lift weights. He was strong as a horse, and I told some of the stories, stuff he did, pretty funny. But one day in the winter, he calls me up. He said, "I want you to go with me." He said, "There's a wrestling, these are like the Hulk Hogan guys, but this is when they're getting started.
Yeah.
They're in a high school. They're not the big time yet." And he said, I'm going to wrestle at this high school, these guys. I said, "Well, I'll go with you, sure." Because he was a good wrestler now. I mean, he's the most powerful man you could ever imagine. He's bench pressing 500 pounds like it's 220.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
So he said, they have a bear and I'm going to fight the bear. I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to fight the bear." He said, "I'm going to kill that bear." Well, I'm thinking, what do you mean you're going to kill the bear? So anyway, he's telling me all how he's going to do it. And he said, "I can get him to stand up. That bear has a muzzle. His bears." And he said, "I can fake." And he said, "I think I can punch him in the ribs and hurt him." So you're going to hurt the bear. So I'm with him. So we go down to the place and there's these carnival type guys. They're from Australia. And believe me when I'm telling you, they're as carnival as it gets. So they're telling us the rules. How to, if you come in and you kind of be rough and the bear will be the bear will throw you down and the bear will win, da, da, da. He said, or you can be a good guy and then you can roll on the bear, da, 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 da. Tom said, no, I'm going to fight the bear, square fight, just a regular fight. The guy said, you can't do that. He said, I'm just going to make it a good fight for the people out here. So now we go upstairs and we're starting a big crowd. Yeah, in a little high school.
Yeah.
And here comes this big bear. He's about, I'd say 6'4", kind of a tall, lean bear, but had a big muzzle on. And the bear's sort of standing. Tom is kind of wrestling. And Tom punches this bear in the ribs. And I mean, he hits this bear. You would have thought he put a hole in him. And this bear does one of those, and now the fight's on. They're jump in the ring. I jump in the ring. Everybody's wrestling around. The police escorted us out. They knew me as a coach. They said, Coach, go home.
Yeah.
Leave the building. He said, you're going to get arrested. So we had
man,
fought the bear.
Oh man,
but that's a true
Pretty
story.
good,
I heard that guy. I
that's-
got that guy in the
that's
NFL,
great.
and he coached forever. And he was an outstanding strength coach. Outstanding, one of the best ever.
and these are the stories, Coach, in your book, and that's why I wanted to let people know you don't have to be that football fan.
No.
These are just some downright good stories. You went through hell with your medical issues and everything, Coach, everything that you talked about and said is got to touch somebody somewhere. Like anyone reading this book has to have some part of your story come back to them in a way. Like things you said, like when you said to the doctor, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? You never think about questioning the doctor that way. Everything you Coach, brilliant book. I mean it dearly. It was a great book.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm hoping some way down the line you give us another one, even if it's not to do with football. You just have a good gift with words and stuff. And your stories,
yes.
Great picture.
I'm happy for this one. I got a guy that wrote me. He said that he has a guy in his company that they create screenplays, and he wants to make this into a documentary.
No,
like for
no kidding.
like for ESPN or one of those, because you could interview all these guys. They're all you could interview them all.
That would be fantastic.
And then plus you could show the clips of it happening.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a really cool story.
Absolutely.
And, you can listen to Leon Washington talk about it and those kind of guys. I think it would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a really good. So I've had some feed on some of that stuff. So I got my eyes open. I'm looking at just everything. But as I said, there's no expiration date, so I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry.
No, excellent.
Well,
excellent.
Hey, that would be so cool. That would be definitely something.
Now we're going to see. I hope so. It'd be fun to. Be fun to do. But I'd be very happy to give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Whenever you get word or you get information, like I said, your family now. You want to pop on and tell the listeners, what's going on.
Thank you.
Open door for you, Coach.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll certainly keep that in mind. Thank you.
So, you feeling any juice for Jets Pats this weekend, Coach?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think this is an interesting game. I've been pretty good with the Jets because I've kind of been right on with what I said about them. Bill Belichick will get that team straightened out. He's a good coach, and they don't look very good right now. But I don't think that New England Patriot team is a real good team. I think the Jets are actually a better football team. Okay. Now, the question is, can we get the quarterback to play at the level he has to play at to take them to the next, to keep them going?
That's my question.
And also, losing the running back, but yet they turned around. They picked up that kid from Jacksonville.
Yes.
That's a heck of a move.
Yeah, great.
Sure is.
Sure that's a good football player. So to me, if they can keep running the ball, because their defense is playing solid, make some big plays. The QB's got to come. I keep waiting for him to get a little bit better.
I know.
It just makes me a little nervous because Bill will do a good job of attacking what you do best. He'll try to eliminate what you do best. Yeah. But the thing that I just don't think he's got enough good guys. I think he's got an offense that just is mediocre. Okay. I don't think they run the ball great. Their defense is just okay. I'm just not real excited with what I see. When I watch the New England Patriots, to me, it's by far the worst team that I've seen in 20 years there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey,
I think by far. So, nobody's a bad team. Nobody is. Everybody's good in this business, but they're just okay. So hopefully the Jets, where are they playing it? I'm trying to think. Where's the game?
It's at home. It's at
here.
MetLife.
Yeah.
I
Cheer.
like that. That crowd should be rocking and rolling because
You would think.
this team has played pretty well. They've done a nice job. And as I hoped all along, they would provide a level of excitement. And I think at this point in time, after 7 games, if you would have told me after 7, you were going to be 4-3, I'd have taken it. If you told me you were going to be 3-4, I would have said that's probably right. If you told me you're going to be 5-2, I said this team deserves some credit. I like the coach. I think they've done a nice job. The 2 guys that jump out at me that every time I watch them, I don't have their names in front of me, and I'm sorry. The 2 big defensive tackles. Those 2 guys have played some football. They dominate the inside.
Quinn and Williams. Yep.
Yeah.
Quinn
They're
and
playing
Williams.
some ball.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe they're kind of the unsung heroes. But I love what I've seen out of those guys. And yep, they've made a couple nice plays on special teams. You don't have too many chances, but if you can get 1 or 2, that's a bonus. They've done that.
Yes.
And they've been solid. They've been solid. They went up to Green Bay and they just beat them up there. They beat them up. They were more physical. So we're going to see. We're going to find out.
I saw back in 2010, you said you'd rather beat the Patriots than go to heaven.
I'm not so sure I still feel that. Now I'm getting closer to that time. I know what in some ways that's probably right. That might be accurate.
So, Coach, you're the perfect person to ask. You know the X's and O's. No one knows it better than you. Did Saleh, I don't want to say show his hand, but should he have sat back till game day before he said to the world, Corey Davis is out? The new running back Robinson, we'll see, to be determined if he's going to play. I know it's gamesmanship and all this stuff, but I feel like you're giving the wrong coach the playbook in a sense. Am I wrong in feeling that way?
That's a good question. There's things that the league requires you to accurately provide.
Okay.
There's things that you have to let people know at where you are at certain points. I'm not sure exactly where that fit, but I do know that that's part of the process. So my guess is he's doing what he really has to do. I believe that. Now, I'm not sure because I haven't seen it all. I don't get to study it every day. But that would be my guess. So I think I don't think he's giving anything away unnecessarily. I believe he's doing the right thing at the right time because he's required to.
Okay, and I'm not this, and this is why I'm asking you, and I'm sure there are a lot of listeners.
And I'm not. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not really certain. I'd have to, and I just can't check it for you. But
so, in other words, he couldn't wait to Sunday to make it official.
No. There's things you got. No, you got to let people know at different times.
Okay. Really? Okay, I see.
Yeah, you got to let them know. No, you can't hold off to the last second. No, that doesn't work that way.
Okay, excellent. I wasn't aware. I thought you.
Now, there may be some things where you've got a guy and you're not sure if he'll be active, and you say we'll make the decision on game day. Could they take him out and work him out?
Okay.
And all that has to be laid out.
Okay.
There's not one of the things that the NFL did a long time ago, and Don Shula was very active in all this, though I was surprised to it, is that they didn't want to win by tricking each other.
Okay.
Don didn't like that. He didn't want that hidden ball and that huddle on the sideline. He wanted the game to be played man to man. Okay. And really, that's pretty much what they do. So there's not too much that you can hide. There's really not.
All right, excellent. And I'm glad we asked you, and you straightened this out on that. Excellent. Thank you, Coach, for that.
There's always a level. There's a level of it, yes. But I think in that regard, I'm just going to guess that they're doing what they have to do. That's my guess.
Okay.
Very
and speaking of this Jet team, do you like the coaching staff?
Yeah, I do. I don't know everybody. I really don't. I know a couple guys. I met the head coach, but what I do know, when I observed the practice, I was impressed with what I saw. Do I know every guy? No, I don't. I don't know every guy. I saw a young offensive coordinator that's starting to mature. I still want to see him get the QB out of the pocket a little bit more. I want to see that. Bootleg, waggle, get him out of there. So that I'm anxious to see if he does that. But I've seen maturity as a staff. But when I watched the practice, I mean, I think I'm a pretty good judge of practices. I mean,
I would think so. Yeah.
I was with a good football team, come on, I was, I was a little critical on the media one time about another team. What wasn't you guys? I was a little critical. I was just a little bit, and it was a quarterback. And I watched the practice and I thought, this is not a very good practice. And so I got the media was giving me hell. I said, well, first of all, I was with Dan Marino for his whole career. Okay. So then I came up to New York with Vinny Testaverde, Chad Pennington. Oh, and we had another guy that wasn't too bad named Brett Favre. Well, then I go to New Orleans. I and I got Drew Brees. Well, I think I know how an offensive practice is supposed to look. And I got one of the best special teams units year in and year out that anybody ever had. So I think I know how to practice. So when I watch a practice and I'm not seeing it, I think maybe I have a pretty good opinion.
Okay, yeah.
I liked what I saw at New York. I was impressed. The way they moved, they were crisp, they were sharp. There was only one exchange one day I was there, a fumbled exchange, very few penalties. Okay. It was sharp, it was crisp, it was smack. It was a good practice. Okay. So I'm watching these guys coach it, and I'm thinking, that's a pretty damn good job. And I kind of feel that's what I'm seeing right now. Now, are we there yet? No, of course not.
No.
But we're on the way. And that's small steps, but they're steps.
Yes.
Yep. That's what we always say here. Climb that ladder. Keep climbing that ladder,
And I mean, we can't not ask you about what you think about the special teams.
Well, they're doing a good, I was shook up in Green Bay when they had the punt blocked. But then they turned around, blocked one for a touchdown. So, and that one of the toughest things to do is to rebound after something that catastrophic happens. And they did a nice job. And they blocked the field goal.
Yes.
So, that's pretty important. So I think they're doing some good things. I know, of course, I know Brant Boyer. I mean, I drafted him and I know him really well. He was one of my guys. So, he played at the University of Arizona. I went down and worked him out, and I drafted him at the Miami Dolphins. And then when Jimmy Johnson came in, Jimmy, brought some of his own guys and he let him go. But Brett went on to a nice career, and he's done a good, solid job as a coach. So none of that surprises me. The thing is, you don't have many plays. The ones you have, you've got to take advantage of. And I think he's doing a pretty doggone good job of that he's headed in that direction. So I think he's certainly on the plus side of the scale. That's for sure.
Okay. And to me, one of the hugest losses was Breece Hall. What's your impressions of this guy? I mean, he looks like Curtis Martin to me.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He was really running the football. I mean, that's a real tough one. You don't really replace him. You really don't. What you have to do is hope that you start to approach that level with someone else. And because that guy was pretty special. That's just a tough one. But yet, I think some of the things that they've done. Who's the kid that backs him up? The guy that's there right now.
Carter.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And I think they've got enough weapons now. And with the Wood, the kid they picked up down at Jacksonville, this is a good football player. Yeah. He's had a good career. So that offensive line, if they can keep doing it, they're patient, they can run the ball. Then I think some good things can happen.
Now, Coach, me personally, I loved Michael Carter from last year. Breece Hall was just icing on the cake. I was really hoping for even more than getting another running back in here this week. I was hoping there was some O-lineman we could bring in. And I know it's hard for the O-line to gel when you're bringing it, but I felt like we needed to bring in an O-lineman more than even the running back. And what's your take on that?
I'm going to give you a good analogy.
Excellent.
You're not going to like it, but I'm going to give it.
That's okay.
That's okay. Getting a good O-lineman right now is like getting the winning numbers to the lottery. It sounds good, but it's really tough.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Everybody, not only everybody wants one, everybody needs one.
You're right.
They need them. I remember when I was with the Saints one time, their personnel director at the time, Terry Fontenot, who now is the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, his office was right next to mine. And Sean Payton, we were in the playoffs. Sean Payton was in his office, and he was chewing his butt up one side and down the other. Why didn't we have this offensive lineman? Why don't we have? And that poor guy was suffering because we're in the playoffs. I mean, Sean's just, Sean could be tough. I went to I got on a computer and I punched up these names and I went to our secretary and I said, I want you to print these names out and laminate them, give them back to me. She said, okay. And I had the teams and everything. So I went in his office. I said, hey, look, I didn't mean to interfere, but I couldn't help to overhear because Sean was yelling loud enough that the whole building could hear. I said, here, I'm going to give you a list of names that I think will help you out. I had every offensive lineman that ever went to the Hall of Fame. I said, here, see if he'll be happy with these guys. He told me, he started to laugh. And I said, look, you're doing a great job. This what he wants isn't there. I said, don't let it upset you. Fight back, hold your ground. And he told me, he said, I'm going to keep this list on my desk for the rest of my career. He said, you really helped me out. And he's the general manager with the Atlanta Falcons now.
Yeah.
So to find those good offensive linemen, it's pretty tough, guys. It's pretty tough. Yeah, I'd like to see him go get one, but woo, it's hard.
And I asked this coach because it shows just as fans, we don't know all the little details. Like we sit here and we think it's Christmas. Oh, we want this guy, and Joe Douglas is going to go out and get him. And the reason why I said it, the only reason why, and I know it's tough to get an old lineman coach, I just felt like that's what we needed. Like I felt
I won't disagree. It's just so difficult.
Yeah.
Everybody's hanging on to them. I mean, they're hanging on to them. They're just not letting them go. And so if you do get a guy, he's probably banged up pretty good. And then you can really waste your time and lose a guy. So
the hot rumor is the last 48 hours has been that the Jets are going to try to get Tunsil, to get Conklin from the Browns. And these are nice guys, but they're chess pieces on these other. They're going to be hard to. You're going to have to give away the farm to get these guys.
That's pretty tough to do. I'll tell you what I believe in this time. I'm a big believer in this. I'm going to take the best young guy that you have.
Okay.
And I'm going to work him day and night till I make him a better football player. And I believe I can do it. I'm going to practice him hard. I'm going to make him run the scout team plays like he's playing the Super Bowl. And I'm going to turn him into a good enough football player that when it's his turn, he'll be ready. That's my philosophy. That's what I did my whole career.
And Coach, we had somebody that could have probably played for you back in 2010, 2011. Elijah Vera Tucker is that tough guy. He's played all three positions on that O-line for us, and there was a big hurt losing him.
Yeah, I love those kind of guys.
And just as a fan, this is why I said I would rather have and I know it's tough, Coach, believe me, I know I'm repeating myself. I would have loved to got someone in even more than the running back. I thought it was still okay in the running back.
Unless something just jumps out and you got a good deal out there, somebody's having a fire sale, but it's probably unlikely. I'm going to develop the best guy that I have. I'm going to take him and work him. I'm going to bring him in the morning. I'm keeping him at night.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be going home. He's going to be in that building with me. It's like I did with the guy, like James Dirk talked about in the book. He said how hard I was to play for. And he said, Mike would bring me up to the field house and we were out at Hofstra. And he said, he'd work me out all the time. And he said, I never stopped. He said, the bad news is he made me practice on Sunday. He said, oh, by the way, Easter Sunday. He said, the good news, he said, I played 10 years in the NFL and I got set for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, speaking of O-linemen, hey, Sunday, DeBrickshaw goes into the Ring of Honor, right?
It's the greatest.
At halftime.
I love him. He's a great kid, great player.
Oh, man.
His whole career, he missed one play.
Yeah.
That was a play where they took him out on a trick play.
Yeah.
He played every play. How do you get better than that?
No, I know.
You don't. I mean, him and Nick, they were like staples for
no question. I'm
a
happy
decade.
He's going in now. That's a great honor.
Yep, halftime.
He deserves it.
And what better time than during the New England game? Put him right in.
It couldn't be better. That's great. Good for him.
Yep. Very good.
What else, guys? Because I'm gonna have to run a little bit. Give me something else.
Okay. I got Kevin. I have one more quick question from the book, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I just want to hear your take. You don't have to say, what was in the book. You did make a comment that you felt that if Baltimore got drafted Marino that year when he was coming out, things would have been different. Are you talking like New England different? The way the way Brady turned things around up in New England, or the way that team developed? How different would it have been for you in Baltimore if you guys drafted Marino?
That's a good question. It's impossible to answer. But I liked our coaching staff because, Frank Kush got a lot of criticism because, Frank was kind of a college guy.
Mhm.
But our offensive coordinator was Zeke Bradkowski. Remember, he was the Green Bay backup. He was a great
Yes. Yep.
coach. And Bud Carson was our defensive coordinator. He's one of the greatest that ever coached a game. And so we had a good staff. And I think we would have made it work for Dan. Now, would have it worked as well as it did at Miami? I can't tell you that. I can't. But I know one thing. Baltimore would have been a lot better than they were.
Okay.
We'd have been a lot better. So, and Elway didn't want to come to Baltimore. He said he was going to play baseball. Man, he couldn't hit the curveball. He couldn't play baseball to save his life. He must think
Trouble with the curve.
he can't hit. He was a great athlete. Was he a major league hitter? In my opinion, forget it. Forget about him.
Right.
He did the right thing. Stick with football. Well,
stick with football.
We coached Marino in the Senior Bowl. He was the MVP. We won the game. We loved them. But the hierarchy said that we were going to draft Elway. He was the best highly raised player, and so it didn't happen. It turned out working out well for the person that worked out the best for was Dan Marino. He went down with Don Shula. Next thing you know, guy's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best ever. So, but it would have been interesting to see. We loved them, and we just had so much respect for them that we as coaches wanted to do it. We wanted to draft them.
Yeah,
They weren't going to let us, so it didn't happen. But it was interesting to talk about, and it was very much brought up, But the owner and the general manager had their minds made, and we didn't get a vote.
Okay, thank you,
Very
Coach.
good.
Thank you for that.
Well,
Coach, anything else?
Coach, it was great having you on. I know you got to go. I got one more thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Can you give us a prediction? Give us a prediction for Sunday. What do you think?
I think the Jets are going to win the game. I think it'll be a little lower scoring than what people think. I'm hoping the Jets. I think it could be like a 24-17 type win, 24-20. I think the Jets. I'm hoping they can get there. I'll be disappointed if they're anything less than that. To tell you the truth, I think they're going to need to get some points up in that vicinity to be able to control this game. I think if they can get out ahead of New England, they'll panic. They'll panic. They won't. Right. They're not. They don't. Their coaches are calling the plays. Are not experienced. Their defense. I'm not making fun of them because they're both good coaches. I'm not being critical of that at all. But I don't know that this is I think the Jets defense can dominate and win the game, but they got to get some help from the offense. They got to get some help. They can't get a stupid turnover to give them because that's how the Patriots will get some confidence. If the Jets can put together a couple good drives, they're going to win this game. I think the fans should go crazy, get excited. I hope the place will be jamming, rocking and rolling. And there's no place better than that stadium when it gets like that. And I think they deserve that. They deserve that following. Though I'm looking at 24-20, 24-21, some kind of score like that.
Like it.
I don't think it's going to be a real shootout because I'm not sure that the Jets have the power to have the shootout. I don't know. I'd like to see how this guy develops. I'll be anxious to watch this game. I think it's critical. But this is a game I believe that they should win because I think they're a little bit better.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, and the final thing is if they do win Sunday, they making the playoffs this year, in your opinion?
I really believe that if they were at this point right now, they would have a run to the playoffs, considering what the rest of their schedule's like. They've got a chance. There's not too many games they've got. Obviously, you got Buffalo. You got to deal with that.
Obviously, sure.
But okay. But there's some people on that schedule they can beat. It's going they can win these games. So it's going to be a fight. And if they can hang in there, then I think they've got a chance to be there. They've got to have that. That's the carrot at the end. But the way they've started, I'll be disappointed if they don't take it to that level.
I agree.
Right. Me too. I agree. Totally agree.
So it'll be fun to watch, and I'm gonna root like heck for them.
All right.
You and us both.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming on today.
So much, Coach.
All right, thank you for everything. I'll come back. We'll talk about my book some more. We'll get up toward later on the season. We can talk about it in Christmas, and I'm going to be doing some. I'm going over to the Miami at Fort Lauderdale. There's a Jets fan club, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for the game.
Okay, excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've
Nice.
got all the Jets fans down here now. We'll all be rooting for him.
All right.
Very
Nice.
good. Very good. That's
Nice.
excellent.
So I'll be over there
All
with
right.
them. So
Thank
okay,
you,
guys,
Coach.
thanks for having me.
Anytime,
Oh,
Coach.
thanks
You
for
know
coming
that. Thank
on.
you. Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, good night.
You're the best. The GOAT. The GOAT, we call you.
I love the book, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right,
Welcome.
bye.
Have a great one, Coach. Take care now. Oh, man, that was excellent. I love
Awesome.
having it on.
Oh my! I could talk. Kevin, I said it the last time we had it on. I could
Listen.
just sit here and listen to it. It's like goosebumps. Like I'm all.
And I had so many more things I wanted to talk to him about.
We'll have him on again.
Game, yeah.
We'll definitely.
Game,
I had a couple others for him as well, but
I had a lot of questions about the Patriot rivalry and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so
Oh man.
pretty cool.
But
Pretty cool.
I didn't say it to Coach. I'm sure he would have straightened me out. I love when he straightens me out. He makes me feel better. Calms me down. Like I said to you, Kev, if we don't get this game this Sunday, I don't know if we ever beat this friggin' Patriot team. Because
No!
I feel like, our ship is rising. And he said it. He thinks this is one of the ways. He didn't say it was bad, but he felt it was their worst team. They're sinking. We're sailing. We got to get this, Kev. We got
And but I know he's worried about the same thing I am.
Yes.
The quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know what, Jet fans who, again, like and subscribe and listen to what Coach says, when we say we're a little worried, or when Kevin, who's been preaching this since day one, don't tell us we're crazy. We don't have to be X's and O's. We just have to see with our eyes, and we watch our team with our eyes.
See what your eyes tell
Yeah.
you. Forget the stats. Forget everything else.
Yeah.
What are you watching? I'm
Yeah.
watching balls fly over guys' heads. I'm watching. Okay, the scrambling ability is one of the great things.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be a lot worse if he didn't scramble out of a lot of those things last week. But come on, I'm watching wide open guys get overthrown. That in crucial times.
Yeah. And Kevin, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it there. We're going to know what this team is on Sunday, or how this team is doing in the first two drives. If Zach is hitting his targets, if LaFleur's got him rolling out 5 yards to this tight end, 6 yards, getting in some sort of a rhythm and moving it along, we know it could be a long afternoon for the Patriots. If we're 3 and out, or 4 or 5 plays and a punt, we're in for a long afternoon of nail biting. Now, we still may get the win, but
let's just look at the last 5 games against the Pats. I'm going to take it from last year and go backwards.
Okay.
Okay.
But before you do that, let everybody know what the Jets' record is against the Pats in the last 6 years.
Oh, it's horrible.
0-12.
0-12.
Is there
0-12.
As bad as the Lions been, are they 0-12 against anybody? I would have to go back and look at that up. As bad as teams been, are they 0-12 against one team?
And we're almost full circle here, because our last game was October 24th of last year. Okay. They beat us 54-13.
Yeah. And that's the game Albright's been harping on all week, letting this defense know this cannot happen.
I mean, geez, 28-14, 30-27, 33-0.
Yeah.
33-0? Nothing? You couldn't even kick a field goal?
And this is why, Kevin,
it's time to kick the snot out of this team this weekend.
Yeah, really. Get on the scoreboard quick, as often as you can, and also take these goddamn refs out of the game, because it's true. I feel like against the Packers, against Denver, we're playing 2 teams. We're playing the team on the field and the guys wearing the zebra costumes.
And the last game, last year in October, he was trying to score 60.
Yeah. Oh, he loves rubbing our noses in it. This is why I want to do that tomorrow. Not on
If you're
Sunday,
not-
folks. Sunday.
If you're
I
not
want to be
pissed
sitting here,
off-
Kevin, 48 hours from now with the victory.
I mean, it's funny. I said to Coach that he mentioned back in 2010 that he'd rather beat the Patriots than go to heaven.
You got a good kick out of that you remembered that quote.
But what I didn't say was Belichick also had a comment back in 2010.
Okay.
It's a tough way when you go 14-2 to end up one tough game and you lose to the Jets of all teams.
Yeah.
He then said it's like losing to Army.
Yeah. No, I remember you saying that quote and reading that quote.
You should have up on your board 54-13, and you should have it's like losing to Army.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, Jet players, don't buy into him waxing poetic about you this week and saying what good draft picks, and that's what
of course.
does. Don't buy into his fucking sweet talk. Go in
He's blowing smoke right up your cool.
That's right. Go out there and put a hurting on Macaroni Jones.
Macaroni Jones.
Anyway, are you ready for the picks?
I'm ready for the picks.
Week 8. So, Kev, before we
in the week in a league where they play for pay.
Before we go on, Kev, we gotta do a little recap. Week 7. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
I make my slow climb out of the 6-foot pit you buried me under. I won last week 8 games to your 7, and now I
picked up another one.
I only trail you by 6. You have 58 victories to my 52. Ba-ba-ba. Can you feel it? It's growing.
I can feel it.
Oh, get behind it, folks. Get behind it. It's going down to the wire. I'm making my move.
Let's go. Let's go.
We got a game this weekend in London, 9:30, kicking off our Sunday week 8 on ESPN. Denver at Jackson, or playing Jacksonville. It's a neutral site. Who do you like? Who do you got?
Give me the Broncos.
Yep, I'm with you. I am so with you. When I watched that defense last week do what they do, and I've seen it in previous week, but really watching it for 60 minutes, I don't see how Jacksonville stands a chance, but funny things have happened. Hey. Let's move on, Kevin. The 1:00 games. We start off with Carolina at Atlanta. Interesting. Hold on before you. Interesting nugget. I don't have the records in front of me, but I believe if Carolina wins, and with the Buccaneers losing, Carolina will be tied for first with the Bucs at 3-5. Shocking, right?
Hey.
After firing the coach, getting rid of Robbie Anderson, trading your best asset, right?
What do you have to say about the Bucs? Can you believe what you're watching?
No. So my question would be is, we know, and I don't listen, personal life is personal, so I'm not going to make a joke out of it. I'm not a fan of Brady. He is the GOAT, but I'm not a fan of his. He's going through something rough. I think today he made an announcement. I don't know if it was true statement or not. He's officially gonna divorce.
Official, yeah.
Yeah, so that's official. So that's on his plate. But more than that, Kev, and I hate to say this, I don't think Todd Bowles is a head coach. He may be
he's not. Listen,
defensive coordinator, but sometimes the game is even too big for you.
Listen, I'm of the philosophy that a team takes on its coach's personality.
Yeah.
Okay? Whether it's a Parcells, a Rex, a Sala.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're like this all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Bowles is a fantastic defensive coordinator. I don't think he's a head coach. I don't.
You can see this team is taking on their coach's persona,
Yeah.
which is lifeless.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So let's get back.
Same way when he was here.
Yeah.
Lifeless.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I hear you. That's why I'm saying I don't think he's that guy. I think people give him more credit than what he deserves. And yes, as a defensive coordinator, I see it. Head coach, no. No, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Back to the pick. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, and at home too, I'm agreeing with you. I am taking the Falcons as well.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago coming off that big excuse me, whoa. Chicago, I'm getting excited here. Chicago coming off that big win Monday night. Do they have enough in them to go up to Dallas and get a win?
No.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. Well, Kev, this is a game that I don't see how, but funny things have happened, how you're going to go against this team. And I know you hate this team. I hate this team too, but not as much as you. But your title is on the line. And this could be a game that might come back and bite you 8 weeks down the road. Do you like Miami going to Detroit, or do you like Detroit? It's a home
Give
game.
me the Lions.
Really? Wow.
Give me the Lions. Screw the Dolphins. Screw them.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I should agree with you, but I'm going to take Miami. I don't see how this Dolphin team, when the owner already has to come out and say Dan Campbell is safe.
Listen, I'm already giving you the game.
You know,
I will sacrifice the game to pick against them.
No, listen, I understand that, Kevin. I get it, you know. I just, even if you want, in my head, I'm thinking, how could you, like, when the owner already has to come out in week 7 or 8 and say the coach is safe, there's already rumblings then. If the owner has to come out and say this, there's already rumblings, whether it's the players who are not, they're done with his Metallica spiel or his tough guy spiel. I don't know, but, you know, I don't see how this team might be picking number 1 for all in. And this is a team I like, Kevin. I thought they were on the up. I thought they were even tougher and grittier than us. Silly me. I'm going to take Miami.
I can't.
No, I get it. I understand.
I can't. You need to lose every game.
No, I understand. Arizona traveling to Minnesota. Who do you got?
Give me the Vikes.
Yep. I'm with you. Vegas.
I can already see that you're going to pick up another one with the Lions and the Dolphins. Come on, let's go.
Funny. Well, we might disagree on this one. We'll see. The Raiders traveling to New Orleans. 1:00 on Sunday.
Good game.
Saints need this to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
So do the Raiders, for that matter.
So do the Raiders. Yeah, sure. That's a tough game.
In the dome, it's going to be loud. Both teams fighting for their season to stay alive.
Give me the Saints.
All right. I'm with you. And I'm already penciling us both in for the Jets, right? New England.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Ride the wave, baby. Ride the wave.
Yep. And should I be penciling us both in for Philadelphia to take Pittsburgh down?
Yes.
Or is Pittsburgh going to shock the world?
No.
What do you got? Tennessee traveling to Houston, 4:05 game.
Interesting game, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I heard Tannehill is questionable with an ankle.
Okay.
So, game time decision? I don't know.
Okay.
This is kind of like what we were talking to Coach about just before.
But before you pick, and even before you even said it, I have no faith in Houston. I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah, I still got to take the Titans.
Okay. Are you taking the Hanky Commanders 1-0 after as his starter? Oh, going to Indianapolis, playing against their backup, Matt Ryan, benched?
Yes, I am. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm with you. 425. San Francisco at the at the Rams.
Good game. Give me the Niners.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And here I thought you were going to take the Rams. I also have the Niners.
Yeah, give me the Niners.
Now, this is the game where we might see a little different. I know who I like, but I know who I'm taking, which kind of doesn't make any sense, which tells you I'm a little crazy here. New York Giants traveling to the 12th man Seattle, 425. Geno versus Daniel Johnson, right? Is that his last name? Daniel Johnson? What?
Jones.
Jones, thank you. Mr. Jones and me.
Give me Mr. Broken Jaw.
Wow. Now, there's where you might keep even because I feel Seattle, but I think that double toughness, they're going to go in there and they're going to quiet the 12th man, and I think the Giants are going to pull out this win. I really do.
Okay, you're taking
I
the
hate
Giants.
to admit it because there are New York, in a sense, the other New York team, and I have a hard time rooting for other.
Right, yeah, of course.
But they're just, I don't know. There's just something special that this group is doing, even a little more special than what we're doing, I feel. And Darble is looking like the coach of the year. I'm going to take the Giants for an upset, you know?
Okay.
And
I could agree with you. I see your points, but going all the way to the West Coast.
Yeah, and this might be
Geno's on fire.
Yeah, no, I understand. And this is going to be his not a revenge game, but his New York.
Do you ever think we'd say something like Geno's on fire?
Really? I know. But you know what, Kev? Everyone knocked Pete Carroll for getting rid of a Super Bowl winning quarterback and all this. And then he goes to Denver, and Pete Carroll looks like a genius because it looks like he's washed up.
Sure does.
And
we'll see. Hey, we'll see Saturday.
Another question.
Or Sunday, rather.
See his press conference, Russell Wilson, where he gave you the breakdown of what he did on this plane for 8 hours. He was doing leg lifts in the aisle, whatever.
I didn't see that.
He was almost like, I almost felt like, Kevin, he became comedian / quarterback, actor / quarterback, talk show host. Like, you know, he goes, I watched film for 2 hours. Like, he gave you a little breakdown of the whole 8-hour plane ride coming home. And it's like, I did this, I was doing Kegels and leg lifts in the aisle while everyone was sleeping. Then I watched more.
Yeah, terrific.
And I'm like, is this supposed to be some skit you're putting on for SNL? Like, I just didn't get it all. But that's just me. Anyway, I think Pete Carroll knew what he was doing. He cut ties at the right time. Green Bay at Buffalo. I'll pencil us both in for Buffalo. Or is Green Bay going to have a fighting chance since no one's giving them a chance?
I mean, I got to take the Bills. How could you not take the Bills
at home Sunday night?
But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised
if Green Bay makes this a fight. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at
do or die. They lose up in Buffalo. It's over.
And I think Buffalo is going to come out, and they know all eyes are on them, and they know what the Giants did. They know what the Jets did to them. They know what was it the Commandos last week that did to them. You know, mm-hmm. I think they're going to put a 40 on the board, and this game is not even going to be close. I really do. I really don't. That's just me.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Packers and Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah.
Sunday, but I don't know.
This is the one game, Kev, I don't see close.
Do you realize a little daydreaming, little dreaming here? You beat New England.
And they lose.
And they lose, you're in first place.
Yeah. No, I get it.
By yourself.
I get it. I just don't
No.
Especially on Sunday night, Buffalo.
I think they keep it close.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And here I think it's going to be the opposite. I think we're going to be switching over to watch AMC and some
Well,
scary Halloween. Although this could be a scary Halloween movie because this
I
could
think
be
that's
over
what-
by half.
I think what everybody's expecting is it not to be close,
Yeah.
which is why I think it probably will be.
Well, that's why I asked you, do you give Green Bay a fighting chance?
Oh, absolutely.
None of these sports analysts seem to think this is even going to be a close one. They're already counting it as a loss. I'm taking it a step further and saying, I don't even think this is close.
Listen, I don't go by any of those guys.
No, I hear you.
Those talking heads, because
I hear you.
when we played the Packers, every single one of them took Green Bay.
Yes.
So.
Oh, and by the way, I saved that receipt. So I
did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
I also posted something. I don't know if you saw recently. And listen, all the Jet Nation's been on this guy. But Brady Quinn now trying to turn it around and saying he didn't say 0-9 or 1-8.
Sure you did.
Of course, you clown. That's why everyone's posting you with the clown face.
Don't you remember me coming on, tell you how much you sucked?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's why I told you that, because that's what you said.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Brady Quinn, stick it. These PFF guys who don't even watch Jet games but going to give lousy scores to our team and then have to come out and admit it because Jet Nation called you out on it and you had to admit you didn't even watch the game. How would these guys have jobs and they're grading people when they're not even watching the game? They're just assuming. Frig you, don't assume anything about the Jets anymore because this isn't the Jets you know. This is a whole different team. So get out of here with it. This is why, Kevin, I don't care about PPF rankings and power rankings. Oh, now we're the 5th best team or the 7th, according to the power rankings.
Well, I saw we're 3rd in the AFC behind the Bills and the Chiefs.
No, but I get it because that's by the record. Like these power rankings, like stick your power rankings here, stick your PFF, your X's and O's. I watch what I watch. And you know what? My team right now is on the move. I don't know how good they're going to be or how good they could be. Right now, they're on the move. I don't need your rankings to tell me anything.
Exactly. We know Monday what we're watching.
Yeah. Monday night, Cincinnati at Cleveland. No Jamar Chase. Does Cleveland pull this out at home under the lights in Monday night?
Give me the Browns.
Wow. Wow, Kevin. So that's going to be the 3rd game we disagree with.
Oh, you're taking a Bengals?
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Give me the Browns.
You got it. So we're all set. We disagree on
who's
3
one of the
games.
Who's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league?
He is, yes.
Okay.
He is, and yes, he's missing a weapon, but
here comes the Browns D-line.
Kareem Hunt, Chubb, who knows? Conklin, the old line. Are these guys even going to be around come Monday?
I don't know. I thought Chubb was coming here before we signed Robinson. I thought Chubb was coming.
That was the hot rumor.
But Hunt. I thought Hunt was coming here.
Yeah,
that
was the hot rumor.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hot rumor. But we'll see. Anyway, Kev, that's it for me. We had great time again. Again,
yes.
Thank you, Coach Westhoff, for coming on with us. Love
Coach,
having you on.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure every time he comes on. So many great stories, so much information, so much knowledge from a guy who he is football, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone out there, if you haven't gotten the book yet, do yourself a favor. Christmas is coming. Holidays are coming. Definitely make for a great gift. Definitely worth getting.
Yep.
Check it out.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, just about everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. You won't be wrong with this read. You won't be disappointed with this read.
No.
Yep.
I actually did it audio.
Nice. Very nice.
So,
Very nice.
Sit there with the headphones on, just listen.
Yeah. And I tell you, like he told the bear story here. He told his way of storytelling. You read the book, you listen to the audio, and you feel you're there. Like that
Yes.
Wayne Hunter story, Kev. I thought I was at
How
practice.
funny. Yes.
I was right there living it.
That's what's so cool about having him.
Yeah.
We get it right from the horse's mouth. Man.
Yes. Yes. Love having him on, and hope he comes
How
on with us again in December. We'll try to get him back on in December.
Well, hopefully
Yeah.
we can have him back on and discuss seeding.
Yes. Actually, yes. Exactly. It'd be a nice little Christmas New
Seeding.
Year's present. Yeah.
Matchups.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. All right, brother. Another good one.
Absolutely. Oh, man. One of the best ones we've had, right?
Yep. Yep.
Going back to July, last time we had Coach on.
Yes.
So it was nice to have him on, especially in mid-season here.
Yes. Agree.
And especially when we're winning.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Made for some good conversation. It's easy to
Hell
talk and, feel good about your team when they're playing well and showing it. Then,
Yep.
okay,
Everybody's
so
got a
next
smile
year.
on their face.
Yeah.
And hopefully we got an even bigger smile on our face come about 4:00 on Sunday.
Yeah. Agree.
So,
Agree.
all right, you guys. Hope you enjoy the episode with Coach and everything. Once again, thanks to Coach for coming on. You made the show, man. You made the show this week. All right. And have a great weekend. And hey, we'll see you Sunday. Will we see everybody Sunday or Monday?
Sunday sounds good. I'm back. This is the last week. We'll let the listeners know we're gonna do our normal Saturday starting next week, and we should be doing our normal Sunday starting this week.
We'll see you guys after the game, hopefully with big smiles on our faces. Right?
Yep.
All right, you guys. We'll talk to you then. And until then, get up! Talk to you later.